Know that that Mr. Sadawi is a bit late, and hopefully he'll be joining us shortly. But to just get things going, Mr. Alshidi and Maacha, there are some general questions we were hoping to cover in this panel today, and focused around mining exploration, attracting projects to the MENA region, and we'd be very interested in both of your views on what exactly, in your words, are the key factors that attract mining investment in the MENA region?
Thank you. First of all, I think that the question is quite similar to the convergence principle in macroeconomy. When we look in the mining business in general for the last century, North America known its boom in the 70s in the last century, and it's the same thing for Australia. For Africa, it was 90 in the last century, and the last decade was for South America. So I think that the next destination, the next favorite destination for miners and investors will be in the MENA region. But it needs, in my point of view, it needs a kind of SWOT analysis, and I will start by the presentation of Mr. Mark Cutifani with the contribution of the GDP, the importance of the contribution of the GDP of our business directly and indirectly, and I will add its importance of job creations. And against, in front of that, I will place the scarcity of metals. And you have just to check in the USGS website to see how lives of some metals are very short. For example, for zinc, lead, and copper, no more than 30 years of life, and it's very critical. And the discoveries are not, there is not enough discoveries for those metals. The tin is a good example also for this question. And I think in the future, some metals or some base commodities will be managed as petroleum and as food. Maybe it will be created such as OPEP for petroleum and FAO for food. I think that some commodities will be very, very important, and it will be an opportunity for MENA because the potential is there to be developed in this business.
Okay, thanks.
So just two things now about MENA itself. MENA is one of the underexplored area. Mm-hmm. It's very large. We have more than 2 million square kilometers of Precambrian terrains, which are very potential for gold and for other commodities, half of Mendeleev table. Thank you.
Yes, no, thank you, Lhou. Dr. Alshidi, we'd be interested in your views on this question, the attraction of mining investment in the early stages, exploration in MENA.
Thank you very much. MENA, there is no question of the availability and the potential of minerals in the area. And also, I think Mark made our life easier by comparing us to the oil industry. As well as he mentioned a very important fact is that he said the metals and the minerals are here, comparing us with a region in Australia where almost equivalent in size. However, the amount of gold that was discovered there is by far, it's almost, what we have here is a fraction over the same period of time. And I think that has a lot to do with, when he compared us with the oil and gas industry for us here, it can be a curse, and also it can be a plus. What this region has to offer, which we have not capitalized on fully in the mining sector, is the availability of energy. Mining is also, as mentioned by Mark, it's an energy intensive, and the availability of energy here is not fully utilized for the growth in the mining sector. So that's one. The other one also, what hasn't it is available, but we just need to use it. It is actually the availability of data. The oil and gas industry have actually, beside the mapping, it has accumulated a huge amount of data from the drilling. A case in point is in Oman, for example. We know there is a huge potential in potash. And that has been confirmed from all of this drilling activities and logging. So the information is there, the data is there, is not fully utilized. So that's another addition which can attract the global mining companies to the region. The third one, it is the synergy of operation. In the oil and gas, because they're covering almost the whole country, is covered by oil and gas operations, whether it is Algeria or it is Oman or the UAE or many other provinces like Saudi Arabia, where there is a huge mineral resources lying there. So the synergy of operation is there. The oil and gas industry created a huge infrastructure in these areas. So to establish a mining operation is easier than if you go to other virgin lands where there isn't that infrastructure. So you have to start from scratch. The last but not least, it's the availability of capital. In this region, if you are going to establish a mining or any of the global, all that you have to come up with is your expertise in the mining. We have the capital. We have no issues in providing capital. And the last, I think, point I'd like to make, what this region can bring and to attract this global projects, global mining operation, is now the willingness from the governments and the sovereign funds to invest in this sector. With now we know for sure that the oil and gas has peaked in terms of delivering jobs, in delivering growth. So now only the next step is actually is to invest in the mining sector and create the similar revolution, if I may say so, in this sector as we had it in the oil and gas.
Well, thank you, Dr. Alshidi. Certainly, the MENA region, as both of you have pointed out, has many competitive advantages, ranging from the ability to attract capital sufficient for the activities in the pipeline and at a very, very competitive cost. But I'm just curious if you would both take the time to elaborate just a bit further on the essence of attracting investment, explorers and developers to this region. We all know that there are important regional sponsors and government-sponsored organizations and companies which are facilitating international investment into the region. But would you please just discuss from both of your current positions what efforts you are involved in helping attract international investment in exploration, which arguably is very essential to the broader development of this sector. Lhou?
Yeah, me, I'm in a private mining company, but I can say you how in Morocco, for example, government is encouraging investors. First of all, it's by valuability of infrastructure, of general infrastructure in general. The government support the investment to do roads, to do manpowers, to energy, and also it's one of the rare countries where there is no free carry for the state. the owner hold its assets 100%. No royalties.
So security of tenure, as Mark pointed out, is a strength of Morocco. And Dr. Alshidi, with respect to Oman and Oman Mining Company, how are you looking to integrate the efforts of others in exploration, which arguably is very important?
When I think I already mentioned the fact that energy is available to be utilized for the mining sector. Now, Oman Mining Company itself have been utilizing a significant amount of gas, which is given to Oman Mining, i.e. made available to Oman Mining by the government, but also all other industries in mining upstream as well midstream can utilize the same at discounted prices so that it allows them to actually be competitive in the market. This is similar to the mid-downstream, like a very live example here in Dubai is Dubal, where actually it made a big difference. Dubal and Imal, it made a big difference in their bottom line. So it's similar in mining. Availability of gas is one thing. The other, now a major effort in Oman, while I am the CEO of Oman Mining Company, I am actually an employee of Oman Oil. So Oman Oil is leading the charge to actually bring the Oman mining sector to the level comparable to the oil industry. So there is a direction the country is taken to basically stimulate the mining sector, especially the upstream part, where Oman Oil is trying to actually go into JV partnerships with everybody who's interested, who have something to contribute in growing the mining industry in Oman. So hopefully before the end of this year, we will be approaching potential JV partners so that we can bring them in and offer to them a concessions area in partnership with us in Oman Oil, so that then we can actually allow or actually kickstart or re-kickstart the industry again in Oman. As I will be speaking more on the subject at 2 in the afternoon in stream, I believe, stream 2. But I think for now I would just focus on the fact that the Oman mining industry is going for a major overhaul where it offers opportunities to companies, and we will not just throw them to these ventures, but we are willing to also reduce that risk of exposure and go with them as partners. And that is, I think, is very important advantage of the MENA region in general. Most of the countries, including Morocco and Algeria, Saudi Arabia as well, is willing to actually partner, to offer the cash, reduce the risk on the investors. And all that you have to come up with, as I mentioned, is your know-how, is your expertise. And we are willing to make that vision that Mark talked about really come a reality.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Alshidi. Very, very interesting points, and I think Mark alluded to this. We've all seen how competitive the global landscape is for mining investment, in particular exploration dollars, the higher risk component of this spectrum. And we've seen many new focuses, I think, internationally in recent years, including countries such as Mongolia, which is very, very highly prospective, underexplored. And we've seen some of the sector's leading companies make significant commitments to invest in exploration and subsequent development in Mongolia. And whereas today the future of these projects and the initiatives and the recent precedents are in jeopardy because of the politics, the changing, evolving politics, and the theme of resource nationalism. So it's very good, I think, for us to hear this topic surface today. And I do believe, as an outside observer, that the MENA region is growing in prominence because of the recognition of the relative stability and policy and the desire for MENA countries to attract international capital and developers and explorers and to help partner with the indigenous firms and the government-sponsored firms to develop the sector. So in closing, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining our panel today. It's great to see you. I believe we're about to have a refreshment break. So if there are any questions for Mr. Maacha or Dr. Alshidi, please track them down and between the sessions. Thank you very much.